All right guys, welcome back. It's been a few days. So in that few days, as you saw in the last video, the old carby was just pumping fuel straight in and out of the, I suppose the lowest piston and spraying it out. So I've actually pulled this carby apart, put a kit through it. She's all back together. I do need to tighten up and just button up a couple of little things in it so we can bolt this on. The other area which I did while that was out, I stripped this down, put it into the ultrasonic cleaner a couple of times just to give it a good clean. It was full of crap. So I'm just going to put the top gasket in underneath the bowl, whack that back in, and that should be good to go. It seems to be a lot more free now. It seems to be pumping a lot better. So I don't think it did have an issue, but it's going to be a lot better now. So let's button up these few bits and pieces. I can tighten and adjust a few bits on this carby that I need to do. There is one little gasket which I'll show you that needs to be replaced, and hopefully it's all sweet. So let's get to it. All right guys, so we've got the carby on, we've got the fuel pump on. Change this to a grey style so I can try and mount one of the old radiators to it just to get some water going through it. So let's get to that. So far so good, no sign of any leaks on the motor, so let's keep filling her up. Alright guys, so battery went flat on the phone, so I've got you back now. So connected up, we've filled up with water. I've put the coil on, I've got that connected. I've got the hot wire here which isn't connected. I've put a water temp gauge just so I can keep an eye on it. Yes, I could have done it without the radiator, but if this thing fires, I want to get it running and get it nice and hot and just have a good listen to it just to make sure that there's no knocks and bangs and clangs, and get some oil pumping around this old girl. So as what we'll do now, I've got the leads connected. We'll connect up the battery, just leave the hot wire off. We'll wind it over and get some oil pumping around again, because we're pretty much ready to go. Got a few ports blocked off so we're not sucking air, and we'll get some fuel is all connected, so we'll get some fuel pumping through hopefully. Fill the bowl up, hopefully the carby's all good after the rebuild, and then we'll put some power to the coil and see if this thing fires up. One thing I will do though is we'll take the rocker off. I will put about a litre of diesel in it, just so if it does fire, it gives it a bit of a clean out, because then I'll drop the oil after I strip it all down and give it a touch up. So let's get to it, eh? Now let's put a little bit of diesel in it. Right guys, let's wind this thing over and get some oil pumping through it and get it ready to start. Good. All right, let's wind this baby over. Any fuel? Beautiful, all the fuel's up. That's pumping heaps better now. She's clean. Let's give it another wind, see what happens. Got a bit of leaking fuel around the top gasket. Better wipe that up. So we've obviously got fuel in there, that's good. Blowing fuel out. Yeah, I reckon.
3, 6, 2. Don't have to very good, but the original, this one was what?
Fuel there now.
Did you pull off it?
No, that was just a choke, just to suck the fuel up.
Ah.
It wants to go. Shit.
Okay.
That's good to do it. guys, well, she's cooled down a little bit. Got to say, it sounds pretty worked. I'm not sure, besides what I can see up in the rocker cover here and in the side of the head, as you've seen. It sounds pretty bloody aggressive. It's sounds to be like it's got a big cam in it. It's running and sounds really well. Obviously got to adjust the carby a little bit, so I'll put the rock cover on just to try and help with the oil that's leaking. When I rev it, obviously the oil pressure is good. Water temp was doing really well. It was only at about 60 degrees. So I've just hooked up a vacuum line so I can see what it's running on here, if that's good, if it needs to be adjusted a little bit for the mixtures. I've dropped the water out. As you can see, the water's pretty dirty, pretty grubby. Got a lot of rust sort of colour through it, so I'll put a new fresh bit of water in it, and then we'll start it up again and hopefully get it to run. I've topped up the fuel because it did run out of fuel, so let's just see what happens. Here we go, round 2. guys, I'm going to get the timing light on her, check the timing, and get something that I can get in here to adjust the idle mixture. All right guys, timing light's hooked up. It's drinking the fuel that's going out of fashion. I've got a little bit that I can hopefully adjust the mixtures. Let's start her up again and see if we can get it running a little bit better. Guys, it's the next day. I've been jitting around with it this morning, the carby. Something is just not right. I'm just not getting real flow out of the pump, and I think that's why it's surging or hesitating. So I am just going to crank this thing up. We will have a look and see if it's spraying out of the nozzles, because it's not doing that at the moment. I have primed it over a little bit. I did change the vacuum to the direct off the bottom of this, just so I can adjust the up the mixture screws a little bit better. And I've taken the choke butterfly off so I can see down a little bit better with the torch. So let's start it up, idle it up and get it warm, and I'll check the timing and whatnot, and then we'll have a play around with these. So let's put the hot wire on. All right. Now, water's full. Let's go for it. accelerator pump is just not pumping. Up again. I've had the bowl off. Checked everything internal. And I think I found the problem. So let's start it up and see what happens. Well, as you can hear, now she revs like it's supposed to. My goodness, and I'm only just touching the throttle because I'm not really set up as far as to give it a good rev, because I'm only just sort of wanting to do a test run. but my God, does she wants to rev, that's for sure. Idle, everything's perfect. So the problem was the pump wasn't putting fuel out. So every time I crank it, she would just drop, like as if you're putting a kill switch on. So as what I've done, I pulled the pump off, and I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I put the spring, the accelerator pump diaphragm, I put the spring on the wrong side. So that's why I wasn't getting any fuel out of my nozzles. Anyway, lucky I've worked that out. Now I've got fuel coming through the nozzles. It's a good learning experience, that's for sure. Won't be doing that again. So that was a problem all along. Anyway, it's running a lot better. The timing's good. It sounds really good. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. On the next one, we'll probably strip it down, clean it all up, get it ready for a bit of paint, and make it look a bit pretty. So appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to your mates, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.